All right, hello, hi, hello. Hello. My name is Giovanni, and I'm lead closing agent at Rocket Real Estate. I made cookies from scratch. I hope there's enough. Oh no!
I don't know about this Giovanni.
Oh, you all right? Oh my gosh. It meant to. Oh no. That was pre-planned. Ha, we're all in on the joke. I'm glad to be here at MAGFest. I hope you've all enjoyed your games and your confident rat people mascots. And I know what you're thinking, and no, there's no relation. See, there's a space in the middle. And also, do I look like the kind of guy who would lose to a 10-year-old child at baseball, our Pokémon, and then have an existential crisis that leads him to abandon his whole business and then be unable to pay the rent for his gym space that I was leasing because of mild economic downturn and a decrease in the overall need for spaceship-themed terrorist organizations in the Kanto region, and then have to sleep in the guest bedroom because I'm spending too much time in Saffron City, playing around with my friends in our little black outfits again. No, I am a successful real estate agent, and I always have been. Anyway, here's my card. I'm glad you all like that graphic design. My son did that. He's very talented. He's also terrible. So, are today's housing prices blasting off again? Try Rocket Real Estate with me, Giovanni, to protect the buyer from inflation, to sell 3 bedrooms across the nation, to help you get a non-predatory loan, to see you settle into your forever home. Giovanni. Rocket Real Estate blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to lose out on the fastest selling housing market since 1996. Let's get started. All right, starting off here. House in the upper left, we have a lovely little starter home in the Kanto region in Pallet Town. 1 bedroom, absolutely no bath. Very open concept, so perfect for families that just kind of want to sit in chairs and look at each other. Upstairs bedroom is perfect for a child. It comes pre-furnished with a bed and all the latest gadgets like a computer from 1996 and a Super Nintendo from before that. It's already a thriving community on the upswing in Pallet Town. There's a woman who lives next door, and she likes maps and giving away maps. And it's also home to a young boy who's just the meanest person you've ever met. But there's plenty of space for you to play around with your kids. Look at all that. That said, if you do head north into the grass, be careful because you will be attacked and killed by small animals, eaten alive, no remains, nothing to put in the coffin. But if you're looking to move your son or daughter into the finest possible school district, Pallet Town has some of the best teacher-student ratios in the country, with a ratio of 4 teachers to every 2 students. That is a lot of property taxes. But the lead professor, Oak, knows everything there is to know about Pokemon. Your child's name, not as much. His own grandson's name, possibly less. But still, if your child is in 4th grade and is ready to graduate and be pushed out into that tall grass with nothing to protect him but a weird lizard he found on an old man's desk, make Pallet Town your home today. However, I understand if you don't want to put up with that Kanto traffic. Everyone is moving to Kanto these days, they say. So, if you're looking for something a little quieter, try Johto. There's less people, less big businesses, and certainly less worrying about your kids stepping onto all these wires that they refuse to fix. And in Johto, we have a lovely mixed-use development that we've just taken a hold of, Sprout Tower. Held up against the will of God by whatever that is. Sprout Tower is a Violet City staple. It's got 3 stories, again, no bathrooms to speak of, and is infested with rats and ghosts. There's also a problem with squatters we've been trying to deal with. They keep saying that it's important for a trainer to spiritually bond with their Pokemon, but I don't buy it. You want to spiritually bond with your Pokemon and the one you choose is Bellsprout? Over and over? No one on my team would be caught dead with a Bellsprout. My team of real estate agents, not terrorists or criminals. Anyway, we're trying to get that settled and get them to go live with the bums over in Ecruteak. So in the meantime, you can check out everything that Violet City has to offer, like the schools, the rustic township, and the amazing view from the top of the gym. That floor is see-through, isn't that neat? The amount of fatalities we've had due to it, almost 0. And for all you puzzle lovers out there, to the south are the ruins of Alf. There you can move some blocks around, make a picture, and cause the floor to give way. Again, the fatalities, almost 0. Anyway, the Sprout Tower is move-in ready, aside from the ghosts, the rats, the squatters, and the lack of bathrooms. If this interests you, email me and we'll chat. But I'm seeing some people in the crowd right now who are thinking, the Sprout Tower is too Bellsprouty. I want something less Bellsprouty. And I have the perfect thing for you. Let's move on to Hoenn, where there are availabilities in the 4 Tree City tree houses. So cute, so off the grid. So many violations of the county building code. If you're tired of the house you're currently in, or even just houses in general, you can stay in one of these fine rainforest abodes in the region. Everyone is single room, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, whatever you want it to be, honestly. Occupancy that fosters a sense of community with a treacherous log bridge between them. All that climbing and trying not to fall to the ground makes 4 Tree City one of the healthiest in the Pokemon world. 4 Tree is already thriving. You have a lady that will give you a technical machine if you guess which hand she's holding a coin in 3 separate times. So that's annoying. And hey, look at the outfit on that gym leader Winona. She looks like she'd fit in at MAGFest, right? She's cosplaying as Goku, I think. Oh, and it's raining constantly. which is great for the trees and gives the home this kind of potpourri mildew smell that everyone's looking for. Who needs a Glade plug-in when literally everything is damp? In the cartoon, the tree houses were nice and stable and had a semblance of modernized architecture. But don't let that fool you. These places are wet nightmares, and they're going for $800,000 apiece. They can be yours today. But I can tell on some faces that you want more options, and I have them. We have two that have recently opened up in the Sinnoh region. Made famous by Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which many experts called the best games of 2021. The Sinnoh region has people raving. First up is a nice little cottage just outside Floroma town. You can practically smell all the flowers from here. Just don't touch them. As a matter of fact, don't do anything with flowers at all. We have one business here, and it's a flower shop. And they're kind of the load-bearing pillar of the entire local economy. It wasn't my idea to base the gross domestic product of an entire city on a flower shop that sells flowers in an area that's absolutely surrounded by flowers. But what can you do? Not a whole lot of jobs is what I'm saying. But at least you'll be poor while covered with bees. In the gorgeous Floroma meadow, you can find a comb bee in that honey tree. It's the cutest case of anaphylactic shock you'll ever receive. Here are some of the signs to look out for. So bring an EpiPen and an open mind and make Floroma Town your home today. But Geo, I want a place that takes hours to walk through in the snow and is beside a big hidden temple that is full of ice skating puzzles that you can't enter until you arbitrarily defeat the greatest Pokemon trainers in the region. And buddy, if I had a nickel, welcome to Snow Point City, a place where snow is everywhere and you can't escape. Nestled near Acuity Lakefront, which just makes it colder, Snow Point is home to another harbor that, yes, also just makes it colder. We have a beautiful property right here on the upper right, and in the neighbor to the left, she'll trade you her Haunter, one that's holding an Everstone so that it can't evolve into a Gengar. Will there soon be two properties available? I think that's up to you. That's a reference to murder. But don't worry, I can help you out with that. Anyway, it's a lonely hell, and I'm excited to begin taking offers on it. But for right now, we're going to take a break and talk a little bit about you all. Which one of you flew over here to MAGFest at your rat convention? That's great. Okay, out of how many of you love the airport? Okay, slightly less. Not flying, though, specifically the airport. That's awesome, because I'd love for you to check out a new property that just became available in Unova. Welcome to Miss Stroughton City. And your new home that's mostly an airport. Now, the transportation options alone are enough to make you want to buy in. All the time I hear new home buyers say, I love the marble countertops, but I wish it was an actual runway of an airport instead. In 2025, that's very big. People used to look for lawns or walkable stores and restaurants, but in Mistral City, we're ahead of the curve. What else does Mistral City have to offer? That's a really good question, and I'd like to answer that for you. But instead, look at the ease in which you can see a plane. It's basically on your doorstep, which is deafening. But for all those planning to have kids, there are a few things they love more than pointing out airplanes. They'll say, "Mommy, Daddy, an airplane." And you'll say, "What?" You know, because of all the hearing loss, because the plane is right there. All of these places, though, have been fairly rural, which is awesome if you love the great outdoors and being attacked by monsters. But some of you, I imagine, would like to live in a more urban area, a place where there are things to do and people to see, and less giant birds and dragons living in the grass. Well, we have numerous options in Lumio City, in the Kalos region, with the tower in the middle serving as a kind of directional guide. You can run and rollerblade through here. The rollerblading is especially fun because many of the streets are cobblestone, which I've heard is really good when you want to keep your ankle in its socket. But if you do have a mishap, many people in Lumio City rent go-goats to ride around on. This 200-pound animal is a great form of transportation. Also, please note that on average, normal goats poop around 75 little pellets every 30 minutes. Doing the math, that is 13,140,000 pellets per go-goat per year. So it's good exercise even in the big city. But who has time to clean up the literal tons of go-goat feces that litter the street when you have so many restaurant options? There's Restaurant Lena, where you can battle the server. Restaurant Leal, where you can battle the server. Restaurant Lawal, where you can battle the server. Oh, and Sushi High Roller, where once again, yes, you fight the waitstaff. But if you want peace and quiet, there's Lysander Cafe, named after this dude with red hair who thinks he's so cool to obtain a ticket to tomorrow and save the world from itself. Come on, bro. Just sit in the basement of a casino like the rest of us. I mean, now, your apartment will probably be overlooking Magenta Plaza. But thanks to this being a more urban center, there are a ton of jobs available. There's Corporate Clips, which is a hair salon, and Friseur Foufrou, which is also a hair salon, but for these dog things. The Stone Emporium always gets a lot of traffic because people love buying rocks. And the Herbanite sells herbs and medicines, I guess. See, a lot of these properties have been in the middle of nowhere or full of rats or full of trees with bees or surrounded by ice or are an actual airport. But Lumio City has a lot to offer in terms of space and comfort and attractions and goat feces. Let's keep that promise going with a haunted grocery store. Now, this is a retail space in Alola, a tropical paradise with nice sandy beaches, perfect weather, and a fantastic atmosphere. The people are friendly, the local culture is welcoming, and the Pokémon variety will make you want to catch them all. The Thrifty Mega Mart is nowhere near any of that. It's at the end of Route 14, and it's all what we in the business like to call a fixer-upper. The roads are in desperate need of repair, so you'll need to get that done if you want any customers. But then again, it's always tourism season in Alola, meaning that you can get some prime summer sales as long as you're willing to clean up both the Mega Mart and like the general atmosphere of the whole place. Also, you'll probably want to get rid of all the ghosts, including this, including this, we don't need Pikachu, we have Pikachu at home thing. As it turns out, the Mega Mart was built on grounds held sacred by the garden deity Tapubulu, and it's the monster that wrecked the whole place. But I have a feeling that with a little TLC and a dash of skirting Pokemon Building Code 271B that says that if a legendary Pokemon destroys your department store, it's probably not the best idea to flip it. I think the Thrifty Mega Mart could be a nice project for any enterprising young people out there. But Gio, Vonnie, aren't there better options out there when you want to start a business? Aren't there places that haven't been destroyed by a wrathful island god? Yes, almost certainly. I can name dozens. But are there cheaper options? No. One thing I hear from potential buyers these days is that they're looking for a home with character. They want something with personality, which, whatever, millennials. But demand for these is so high that I've been on the active lookout, and I found the perfect spot in the Galar region for the home buying insufferable. Welcome to Spikemuth, which has everything you could want. It's got graffiti. It's got cardboard boxes. It's got simps. It's not only the home of Marnie, who's something of a local celebrity, but also the headquarters of Team Yale, meaning it comes pre-built with its own community. Look at these people. Who wouldn't want to raise their kids around that? I'm serious. One major feature of the Pokemon world is taking your children and putting them in mazes. But Spikemuth is just a straight line. You have to remember that when you're buying a home, everything is a trade-off. In Spikemuth, you have literally one road, which is a pro. And in the cons column, everyone who lives there is him. Home prices here, for obvious reasons, are slightly lower than the Galar average. So it's great for the first-time home buyer who has no idea what they're getting into. But I can imagine that some of you wouldn't want to live in a place so chock full of this team. So why don't we take a look at Paldea, as particularly the city of Los Platos. Look at that amazing Spanish architecture. I bet you're thinking that it looks expensive, and good Lord it is. This place is for retirees intent on spending their kids' inheritance. So if that's you, let me know, as I have a couple of business ideas that I'd like to float to your way. Get this. We take slowpoke tails and we sell them. For everyone else, let's give this place a shot. Who knows? Los Platos is a fantastic place if you like kids. Paldea is what we call an open world or free range, which means that there are kids everywhere, in the street, in the gardens, in the hills, in the backyard. Los Platos is a place to enjoy the soothing sounds of an infinite supply of 10-year-olds barging into your house. Considering the median home buyer in Los Platos, don't expect too much in the way of jobs. There's a sugar and ice stand that sells ice cream, which will be quite popular for the thousands of fourth graders running through. However, you're also downhill from Mesagoza, which is a real university town and has a ton of chain and local businesses. Mesagoza is walkable. It's got great local culture. It fosters Pokemon trainers like few other places do. And it's full of sandwich shops. What's not to like? So why aren't I trying to sell you a property in Mesagoza? Well, I have one more place left on this list that I think you're really gonna wanna see. Honestly, it's probably the most valuable property that we're touring today. And that's not just because it's nestled in the bustling hub of Viridian City, a town so unanimously popular in the Pokemon world that it has its own theme song. It has everything one could want, whether you're looking for a new home or a new location or a new business. Wow, take a look at that, huh? And look at all the cool people that are there, especially that guy in the upper left corner. He looks like the kind of guy that would be good at Pokemon and or real estate. Seems kind of like the place to be if you ask me. So, does anyone have an offer? Anyone? Oh. We're gonna. This is great. All good. We're gonna start with $430K. But I'm willing. Hold on a second. I am getting a call. No, the seller is willing to negotiate. What's that? Hold on. He's willing to go to $300K to get this off his hands? Oh, what a steal. Well, if he insists, he says he's getting so many offers per day that he can barely keep track of them all. What, 200K? So I will definitely put in a good word for you if you decide to buy. Please buy. Please, please, for God's sake, buy. Look, I'm gonna be real with you here. I haven't been totally honest. My name isn't Giovanni. It's just Giovanni. I didn't make those cookies. I know. It was another of my brilliant schemes. So I understand if you need a second to process this. But I'm not the former leader of Team Rocket, and I definitely didn't put our organization millions of dollars in the red because I wanted to install those spinning push tiles. Okay, fine. I created Team Rocket, and I did install all of those spinning push tiles. It was the 90s. It was a very vibes-based economy. You didn't think about your own employees complaining, "Oh, Giovanni, I keep accidentally stepping on the tiles and I can't get to the bathroom." "Oh, Giovanni, I haven't left the gym in 3 days because of these stinking tiles. I need to get home to my family." If it's 1996 and someone comes to you with an investment opportunity about tiles that will revolutionize the way you move across a room, buddy, you take out that second mortgage on the house. Because if one of y'all doesn't buy this thing, I'm gonna have to skip town again. It's embarrassing. I only have one serious buyer. He's 11. You don't know how it feels to be told smell you later when you're 43 years old. What it does to a person. So I'm willing to hear any offer. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go into yet another job that someone takes, even if they're totally unqualified for it. So, in conclusion, thank you for coming to my presentation. And remember, if someone who looks like this asks about me, tell him I went to the store to buy some antidotes and I will be home as soon as I can. Thank you. That was, 30 minutes brief, but who cares? You write 30 minutes of Pokemon house material and you're good. Does anyone have any questions about Pokemon or real estate? Or legal assistance or life coaching? Okay, we'll start and then go back. Bison.
What is the rate at which the roads get blocked off by large boulders until a child pushes them out of the way?
Oh, you know, the city infrastructure doesn't really like to interfere with roads or clearing roads or road management. So the rate that it gets clogged, once a week. The rate that it gets fixed, whenever a prodigal 10-year-old is born. Far left. Yes.
Say, hypothetically, your friend caught a whalmer and brought it into their small apartment. And it turns out they forgot to give it an Everstone, and it happened to level up enough. Where would you recommend moving towards as cost effective for this unforeseen situation?
So the question she asked is that her friend got a Welmer and it evolved into a Waylord, and now her whole house is a Waylord. Now, I know building codes, and Hoenn Region Building Code 3612 says that if you have a development that cannot contain the number of Pokemon, then you need to get someone from the city to come down, demolish the property, build a new place, and then move out your friend immediately for making a bad decision. So, tell your friend she's got a few days to pack her things, to, see if she can get the Waylord out of there, and we should get that all cleared up. To the right or left of her, wherever you're standing this way.
So we were talking about big cities earlier.
Yes.
What can you tell me about the real estate in Castella City? Where's good to move in there?
So Castelia City is very hip. It's very happening. There's a big bridge that we all like, the big bridge. You get to meet people every day. They say things like, "I love Pokemon," and do not talk back. Real estate there is okay as long as you're willing to move into one of those apartments down the big hallways toward the light. Aside from that, getting harborfront property is pretty hard because, again, we all like looking at that bridge. So I'd say it's pretty good as long as you're willing to live in what they call an off-map part of the Pokemon world. Right here.
Yeah, I have a career choice dilemma I was wondering you help out with. So I need to pretty much means it boils down to what's more important, expanding the land or expanding the sea?
Well, expanding the land would give us more houses, which would be good for old Giovanni. Expanding the sea would be good for already beachfront properties. But if only there was some kind of green super dragon to perhaps fix this problem between the angry red one and the angry blue one. No idea. I vote land. You.
So, going back to Alola, I know there's a beautiful property that you have, maybe with Team Rainbow Rocket that you might be selling?
Team Rainbow Rocket is not associated with me at all. I do not know those people. There's a lot of guys with spiky hair who all say, "We know you," and I say, "No, I don't." what is his name? Cyrus blows up my phone. He's always DMing me. He says, do you want to recreate time and space? And I said, time is money and space I do not understand, so please lose this number. So I do not know Team Rainbow Rocket. I am only a real estate salesman and a former terrorist leader and also a legal assistant and a life coach. So, yes.
There's this wonderful villa property over in this island, like right by Zeno, in this place called the resort area. And I heard it was like really cheap. I was wondering why you didn't offer it.
Well, a big problem with that is that they only let the most successful fourth graders there. As a fourth grader, I was very successful in things like baseball and, you know, so I didn't go there myself, but I had many friends that went over there. And I know the property managers of that place, and they'll all tell you that if you try to set foot there, they will let only the coolest kids there to go plant a palm tree or whatever. So, yeah, I would say if you want to live there, that I would make a very convincing disguise as a almost elementary schooler and yeah, become the best Pokemon trainer of all time. It's pretty simple. You can do it. In the back, in green.
Yeah, what about Acropolis? How are people going to get out, either underwater or are they going to have to rock on? Because we all know most people who live there won't have the dash to fly out of there.
Oh, well, you know, that's kind of hard. You used to be able to move a big old Pokemon, and then you'd go in and get HMO2, and then you could fly out of there. But that's not there anymore. The kid from Pallet Town took all the flies, and now there's no more flies. So all I have to say is that it's really, the fault is on the buyer. People might call that selfish, but I call that money in the bank. So if you have any friends there that are having despairs and say, oh, I don't want to risk losing Mega Punch because I have to teach it rock climb. Well, should have thought about that before your life was disastrous.
Any word on the land development use in Vermilion City?
So there's an old man with a Machop or a Machoke that's been building his house, and whenever I've logged in, I've said, excuse me, sir, would you like help in selling this place? And he's always saying, I can build this with my Machop, and says the same thing every time. So, you know, I would say it'll probably be done by the next Kanto remake. Which judging by timing is probably anywhere within the next 6 months.
So, regarding the property in Johto,
Mhm.
and with the almost zero casualties in the Violet City gym, I'm sure that there had to be some lawsuits given that it's clearly not zero. And given that you also offer legal assistance, I have to ask, were you a part of the team to keep them up and running? And if so, what was your strategy for it?
My strategy for it was, look at how cool these see-through floors are. It was a very simple strategy. I would say, look at how cool these floors are, and a bunch of investors would say, wow, that's pretty cool, and I'd say, do not trip.
Very compelling, no.
So yeah, that's I'm not saying that I am at fault for the continuing tragedies of the Violet City Gym, but I will say that it's a pretty cool view.
I heard about a cool resort town, very nice in Nova. I think it's called Undella? Nice place, but I heard the neighbors were a bit battle crazy. Is that true?
When you move to the Pokemon world, you gotta understand that everyone that you look at is a potential enemy forever. I've never been to a place that's more hostile to me. But in Inova, I know the residents you're talking about specifically, and, we've told the neighbors to say, hey, could you keep that down? My kids can't sleep because you're battling forever. And they say, we don't know how to do anything else. So, if you'd like to live in that resort town, I just gotta say to buy some earplugs and hope that, again, another 10-year-old comes through and just wipes them out.
What are your thoughts on ultra space real estate?
I've been in the real estate game for a few years now, lost a lot of people to real estate. I say, hey, go check out that room, and they get lost forever. So I think that it's pretty popping right now, as they say. But I'd also say that you might go have a look at the kitchen and be lost forever, or have to fight a mole trace out of nowhere. Mixed bag.
So how do you deal with the certain your cat that is the white forest in the black city?
Say that again?
How do you deal with like the paradox that is the white forest on the black city? Sometimes you look at it as the white forest, sometimes you look at it as black city.
Well, home buying is in the eye of the beholder. As it made clear today, some people see Sprout Tower and some people see a place that should be torn down. Worship, destruction. A fine line. But in the case of the white and black there, I would just say that good luck to you if you happen to. Good luck to you. And if you walk out your porch one morning and your entire home and everything you knew is unrecognizable, then I just say maybe it's a new chance to start a new life. You can say, hey, honey, look where we live now. The woods. Yes, exactly. That's a glass half forest way to look at it. Beside.
Okay. If I were to get a home in Kanto, what should I do if for some reason my commute is blocked by a giant sleeping Pokemon?
Oh, that's tough. There's a lot of stuff you have to do. First of all, you have to go to a casino run completely legally. Then you have to go fight a very nice man. And then you have to get a telescope of some kind. Then you need to go to a big spooky building. And then you need to go fight more of guys who are there totally lawfully, who took some Marowak skulls totally lawfully. They said you could catch all the Pokemon you want. They did not say what you couldn't and couldn't do with them. And then you talk to an old man who's sad all the time, and he'll give you a flute, and you wake the big thing up, and it goes. Okay, everyone who has a hand up, stand up, because I feel like I'm missing people. Oh. Blue shirt. Am I for or against investment in the ore region? A lot of people will tell you, don't invest in the ore region. It's not canon. But I say it is profitable. So that's what I'm for. Right there in the back.
Yes. Concerning your experience in real estate, do you know anyone who could hook a friend of mine up with, say, rampaging ogre insurance? He and his grandfather are planning to move to Iwatani, and this time of year, well, they all start telling stories.
Well, it's like the Thrifty Mega Mart. You know, it was destroyed by a local island god. Now, on one hand, you could take that as an omen to not do that again. But on the other hand, you could take that as an omen to totally do that again. So we try to build in rampaging ogre insurance into all of our properties just in case we do piss off any legendaries or mythicals that might be nearby. But I would just tell them that the best way to deal with Pokemon that rampaging through is to build your own super powerful Pokemon team and then build an entire terrorist organization around them, which is the best protection you can buy, really, is to have an entire team with a big R on the shirt, preferably, and to have them do all your bidding and protecting. It's worked for me or friends I know.
Do you know a good locksmith that can keep a 10-year-old out of my living room and rummage into my garbage?
Apparently, locksmiths in Pokemon are illegal unless you happen to be inside a building that requires a very specific key to get to the top floor. So no, I cannot recommend any locksmiths. The best way to deal with that is to just kind of leave snacks out, leave a volcano burger or something. Kids will come right in, they'll eat, they'll leave. Yes.
On the earlier subject of insurance, I'm actually interested in the Fortree City property, but I'm a little afraid of the insurance premiums after the battle between Groudon and Kyogre in the Hoenn region nearly destroying the entire planet. So what's the insurance situation like going on there?
Well, it's Fortree City, so there's a couple of insurance that I don't say you have to buy, but you probably need to buy. One is falling off all the log bridges insurance. Another is, insurance for your mildewed awful house falling apart. Another one, there's a lot of Kecleons there. You need Kecleon insurance. I know, no one told you when you buy a house how many Kecleons there are. There's so many Kecleons. So if you can find a good package for standard, legendary Pokemon fire and water and devastation insurance, tie it all in with the Kecleon and the mildew and the people falling off the rope bridges insurance. You should find a good rate or a bad rate. There's probably that. Yeah.
Hi, do you know any residences that are primarily ghost types that are safe to raise kids in? My former two kids really loved the type, but our firstborn got carried away by a rift wound, so is there any safe places that have ghost types?
Oh, there are many safe places that have ghost types to them. Why don't you try Lavender Town? It has an amazing ambient music. It also has a big tower devoted to death, which is fantastic if you like touring places with your family that are full of death. So I would check out Lavender Town first. A lot of people say it's unpopular. They say, Giovanni, there's far too much graveyards here, stacked 6 stories high. To that I say, whatever. Bye.
So this one's for the life coach side of it.
Okay.
I've got a pair of friends who've been trying to catch this electric mouse for a while. Do you have any tips for that? It's like super strong.
So when it comes to electric mice, I personally would not catch them myself, but I would probably say that your best bet would be to grab some rubber gloves and a rope and just kind of drag it with you. If you do that for long enough, it'll be your friend. I've seen it happen many times. Many times.
So I was looking at some property around the Tojo Falls area, but I heard some talk about some strange man who goes into a cave there. I was wondering if you had any advice about this, if I should consider looking to the property or not.
Pokemon is full of strange men. It is, one could say it comes with the territory. You will run into at least a few strange men in Pokemon, and all I say about that is that a strange man is a stranger friend. So, if you want to move in that bad, befriend him. Know what he likes. Know what he'll trade. Find out on Tojo Falls, it's Johto. Find out what day of the week he gives out whatever his specific weird item at a specific weird time. That's what I'd say. Have confidence. He could be a friend, or you could be murdered.
I recently was looking at a property on Cinnabar Island. Very nice mansion, but I heard there were some gas leaks there, so I was wondering what ways we can easily solve that, since I don't believe there's much of a fire department over there.
On Cinnabar?
Yes.
Well, people say that Cinnabar is on top of an active volcano. And I say, active how? It doesn't look very active to me. But, if you have problems with it, it's got such good places to kind of get away. It's got a museum that resurrects dead Pokemon. It's got a big mansion that keeps a lot of old stuff. You got a quiz master with a gym. Now that I think about it, it doesn't have a lot of stuff. Never mind. I would move to Seafoam Islands immediately before it's destroyed by a volcano.
I've been, a fourth grader for about 5 years now. I'm sort of done, but I don't know how to not live in the woods anymore with my 14 Pokemon. So how can I transition back to that?
Oh, well, in the Pokemon world, there are many jobs and many community organizations devoted to taking the fourth grade wannabe prodigy and kind of entrusting him back into real life. It's a big problem. There can only be one Ash Ketchum, am I right? But I'd say in your specific case, the first thing that you probably want to do is put all your Pokemon in a computer, go to a trade school, that'll teach the many kinds of jobs that they started doing in the Pokemon world. You could be a waiter at a restaurant that fights people. You could be a guy that sells rocks at a department store that watches people fight people. You could be a guy that stands in a gym and says, "Hey, this guy has rocks. Do you have water?" There's so many opportunities for a young guy like you to give up on your dreams and do something that really matters, like clipping Pokemon hair. We all kind of love that for some reason, right? So all I'm saying is don't give up hope. Just give up on Pokemon forever, and
I'm really interested in your Lumio City property, but I have a friend who lives there who says that there's some issues with the electrical infrastructure. Any risk that I wouldn't be able to get to my house due to, I don't know, a blackout?
Mini. As it turns out, probably not the best idea to build a 600-foot tower that shines everywhere in the middle of the city and drains most of its power. When they asked me about that, I said, do not do that. And they said, but it's Pokemon. Won't it just work out? And I said, probably not. You should have seen these tiles I put in. I don't want to say that it's hopeless, that you won't experience at least 1 or 2 blackouts in Lumios. I'm just saying that, invest in a flashlight and a good pair of go-goat poop gloves, and you should be able to make a home anywhere in that bustling metropolis with very poor infrastructure when we look at it.
Hey, so I've been looking at a property at Blackthorn City.
All right.
There's one woman real estate agent who's helping me out. You might know her. She has everything there. But I think she's been doing some really strange stuff with helping me find the property. So why don't you go get them to see any properties and start prove myself by going to the building and choosing the lifestyle? I was wondering, is this legal?
You know, if you've lived in the Pokemon world for long enough, you find out that there's a there's a lot of gray areas. Technically, no, they cannot say you are forced to go into the dragon's den and fight your way through a bunch of dragons and then answer an old man's questions in order to get any kind of help. Legally, she can't do that. Is there anyone to enforce that? No, never. I will say that I hear your frustration, and I offer the valuable counsel of next question. Back.
I have a legal question. I run a haunted Airbnb in Candlelight City in the Sinnoh region. Do any of my tenants have a legal grounding to come against me for being haunted by, quote, an ancient nightmare god, unquote, even though that's not an Airbnb term of service?
They absolutely do not. If someone complains about any kind of thing in the Pokemon world, their best bet is to take it up with Pokemon. As I've learned many times, asking for help will get you nowhere, but taking your laser critters to fight the problem themselves gets a lot done. So tell those tenants that if they want the thing gone so bad, then maybe they should just fight it to the death. I'm Rayon Ears.
So I allegedly been working for a region for an alleged Pokemon trafficking.
All right.
What would you recommend from a legal standpoint if my Espeon friend said it is a surefire job?
There are many such cases. Many people either work a real job in Pokemon World or work for a terrorist organization. I think you're probably pretty good. There are many others you can join. Team Rocket will probably be going long after I've hightailed it out of here. And inevitably, someone else is going to show up in whatever region you are, and you'll fit right in. Just include on your resume what you've done, how evil you were. Make sure to put in whether it was like just terrorist stuff or you wanted to recreate time and space. There's a big difference. Then I would put that down as a science degree. Yes.
So with the discovery of Area Zero, I think it posed a really interesting question in the housing market. Over what time, at what period in history are those houses listed at? Is it going to be the past, the present, and the future? So the conversion rates get all screwed around at some point. What's your take on that?
It's kind of a tough market. I tell people when they want to move in there, I say, you might never come out. This might be it. You might find yourself 1,000,000 years ago. And they say, no. And then I never hear from them again. So I would say that probably the best bet for, future, past, present, alternate reality, Area Zero residents is to just go up there with your chin up and a lot of revives.
I've been hearing good things about investing in O-Town in the Alola region. Do you know anything about that situation over there?
There's a lot of good investments in the Alola region. That one specifically, I don't know why it wouldn't be just as good as, a lot of investments I've taken. I've taken they said, don't buy that Magikarp. They said, don't buy that Magikarp. I said, why? Why? I bought the Magikarp. Did I turn it into a Gyarados? No, I don't have the patience for that. But now I have a shiny new Magikarp. Whenever people come by and they say, oh, look at that Magikarp. It's useless. I say, is it? You said something about it. So that's how I'd look at it with every Pokemon region investment, is to look at it as, it probably won't pay off. You'll probably lose all you have. But at some point, someone's going to say that's cool, and that's...
I'm tired of being victimized by fourth grade prodigies. Is there anywhere I am safe?
Somebody brought up the Paradise in the Sino region, but that's for former fourth grade prodigies. No, this is kind of the end for you. I hope, I'm sorry, but I have no answers.
My old real estate agent tried selling me a Mirage Tower in Cohen, but when I went there, it wasn't there. Are they trying to scam me?
I would say that if you get sold a scam in a region of Pokemon, the first person to take it up with is the other person's Pokemon team. It's pretty easy. You just look at them in the eyes, and they're forced to fight you. So that's probably your only recourse in situations like this. If you can't find the house, that's a shame. But we've been told to wrap it up, by the way, because it's past.